By the way, there is one vlogger that has added himself to the list of Tesla driving vloggers, which is already a pretty good list. Jamin Burton, Johnny Vibes, already driving them. And that, of course, is Jeff Boski getting the Tesla Model Y. So he will be loving that. I was kind of giving him the tip of always take advantage of the ability to charge for free at destinations. And there's not a lot of destinations that currently offer that. Hotels being one, but casinos, of course, being one as well. And whether it's the Tesla branded chargers like you saw in the last vlog, or the ChargePoint ones that you just saw a second ago, they're free at casinos. Now the ChargePoint ones aren't free everywhere. They'll tell you on the app if they're free or not, but the casino ones are. You just need the adapter if you're driving the Tesla. So always better to not pay anything for gas, and in this case electricity, for getting around. Anyway, we are back, second session here at Peppermill, and hoping to make it count. Most people have not been wearing masks, unfortunately. That's just the reality. If most are, I will wear as well. Games are currently 5-handed, which to me is not something that I hate at all. I always enjoy playing short-handed. So let's jump in, see how it goes. I buy in for 1,000 and sit down and 3 hands in. An unknown who will not stop talking and drinking opens to 15 in the cutoff and the button calls. I'm in the blind with Jack 9 of hearts, so with 45 in it comes deuce 4-6 with 2 hearts. I decide to bet out here, making it 30 with a boatload of equity. The cutoff, who I presumed loose, as I mentioned, makes the call, and the OMC on the button folds. So with 90 in, it's heads up with a turn of an offsuit 7. I check, planning on check calling, assuming that he has one of those baby pocket pairs that he's not folding. So he bets 55, and I make the call. So with 200 in, the river is an offsuit deuce. Now, I didn't think that he would fold a 4 here, so I check. He checks behind and wins with king 8 of spades for king high. He was basically just donking off on that flop with nothing, which is kind of what I expected. Later on, same guy into the gun opens to 15, and I pick up pocket 9s on the button and make it 50. The blind cold calls and under the gun calls as well. So with 150 in, it comes 4, 5, 6 with 2 diamonds. Check to me, and I bet 75. The blind folds, and under the gun, loose dude min raises. I wasn't sure what to make of it, but I thought folding an overpair to this guy was a little weak, so I make the call. With 300 in, the turn is the 6 of diamonds, giving me a backdoor flush draw, and he now bets 100. Given the fact that I added that draw and his bet's that small, I elect to make the call. So with 500 in, the river is the 8 of diamonds, giving me the 9 high flush. He bets 200. Having upgraded to the flush, I cannot resist making the call here, and he shows pocket 4s for the turned full house, explaining the 2 earlier bets, begging for action. It just happened to work out so well for him, having already cultivated an image in my mind on the previous hand. Like most unknowns that visit Reno, and win money from me it seems, he leaves within 10 minutes of winning that big pot. So I'm down big right out of the gate. Later on, it folds to me on the button with queen 10 of diamonds, and I make it 15. The blind makes the call, so with 30 in, it comes king, queen, 4 with 2 spades. He donk leads for 15, and I have an easy call here with second pair. So at 60 in, the turn's an offsuit 5, and again, he bets, this time for 20. I can't fold given the price and the fact that he usually slow plays his monsters. So I call, and with 100 in, the river is another king, a good card for me. He fires third barrel, this one for 55, now being less likely that he has a king. I'd hate to lose to ace-queen here, but nevertheless, I make the call, and he shows ace-4 offsuit for a bluff, and we take down a $210 pot. Unfortunately, we're still buried. Next hand, the hijack opens to 15, and the cutoff calls. I have ace-queen on the button, and I squeeze to 55. Both guys call. So with 170 in, it comes Jack 6-6 rainbow. It gets checked to me. I wasn't sure if a bet was getting through here or not, and if I were to make one, could I get pocket pairs to fold? But I decide to fire, and both do fold. Then the most aggressive player in the game opens to 20 under the gun, and we get one call from the button and have pocket 10s in the blind. I make it 4x. Under the gun calls, and the button folds. So with 180 in, it comes King 9-9, 2 hearts. I check. Under the gun, bets 50. So getting over 4-1 against an aggressive player, I didn't think that folding was a great option. So I make the call, and with 280 in, it turns an offsuit 8, and I check. He bets 100 here, and I decide simply to go out. He shows not one, but 2 kings for a flopped boat. We're seeing kind of a theme today with regards to small bets. Then we get an open from the cutoff and a flat from the button, and I look at ace queen in the blind and make it 60. The cutoff calls, and the button back ships all in for 305. I go all in as well here. The cutoff folds, and I'm racing against pocket 9s, and the board comes out queen high, and we take down a $670 pot. All right, it is a mid-session update. I am down about 800. I'm moving the car from the charger. I don't want to be that guy that leaves it there for hours after it's fully charged. Never be that guy. And a lot of work to do tonight. We get a button straddle, and everyone calls. I have ace jack of clubs, and I make it 50 from the blind. Under the gun, limp calls, and the button straddle calls as well. The others fold. So with 170 in, it comes 6-9 deuce with 2 spades and 1 club. It gets checked to me, and I just don't love trying to bluff 2 guys out here when I could have a free look at a turn and pick up that nut flush draw, which, when I check it back, I indeed do. Turns the 4 of clubs. Here I decide to bet, making it 80. Under the gun folds, and the straddle snap calls. So with 330 in, I feel like I'm going to need to hit my hand on the river, which I don't. It comes an offsuit deuce, it goes check, check, and I lose to Jack 4 of hearts. Interesting play there. Button straddle is in effect again. Under the gun raises to 20, and I'm in the cutoff with pocket aces. I 3-bet it to 70, and under the gun calls. So with 150 in, the flop is King 10-7 with 2 spades. He checks, and I bet 100, hoping he has a king, but when he folds, it's clear that he doesn't, and we take down a small pot. Unfortunately, after that, I ultimately stopped vlogging, hoping it would turn things around, but it didn't, as things just progressed and got worse. It is 11:30, just about the time we'll be heading home tomorrow night, after the 11 o'clock news on Colo 8. Unfortunately, I am doing it tonight, having lost a lot more money than I'll make the entire week. Anyway, I got a bunch of big hands cracked, and then, on a couple of occasions, I tried this whole concept known as bluffing. Now, I'm no expert, but the way I understand it is you're supposed to represent a hand, and your opponents are supposed to believe you have it, and they're supposed to fold their hands. I could be wrong. But anyway, that tactic proved shockingly ineffective. It helped me book this substantial loss. So after 2 vlogs, a couple of $1,400 decisions, and I'm right back where I started, with 3 stacks of high society. Fortunately, I have a lot more money than that. See you next time.